We're on the air. Okay.
All right. I have 6 o'clock. I have 6 o'clock, so we'll call the Charter Township of Long Lake Board of Trustees regular meeting to order for September 9th. If we'd all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Schaub.
Here.
Balderat. Here. Siebert.
Here.
Wheelock.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
Leopold.
Here.
And Wagner is absent and excused.
All right. We'll open for our first public comment.
Do you want me to read the instructions?
I think everybody knows what they are here, so we'll miss that part.
Okay.
So do we have any public comment? Hearing none, we'll go on to the consent calendar.
Okay, tonight the consent calendar consists of the Township Board meeting minutes of August 12, 2025, Treasurer's Report of 7/30/25, Planner's Report August 25, Zoning Permit List August 25, Zoning Report August 25, Enforcement Officer Report August 2025, Parks Department Report August 25, Check Register as of August 2025, Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Report August 25, Grand Traverse County Road Commission August 25, and correspondence from Charter Communications.
Great.
Is the treasurer's report the 30th or the 31st?
31st.
31st, okay. You had just read the 30th,
Oh, did I?
so I wanted to be
I'm sorry.
sure. Okay,
Yep,
no,
thank you
wanted
for
to be
that
sure. Yep.
clarification.
All right. Motion to approve.
So moved.
All right. We have a motion by Dwayne, support by Linda. All those in favor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. I have no amendments to the agenda, so if I can get a motion to approve as it's stated.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Kevin, support by Rhonda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, any conflict of interest, anything on the agenda today? Hearing none. Go on to special reports. I do have Penny Morris, as she apologized. She could not be here. She said that they did get their audit done. It was a little late because of a new treasurer and a new auditor. So it took them a little longer to get that done. But they have a net position of $10.7 million boosted by ARPA funds. Net position decreased by $839K, mainly Grand Traverse Pavilion. They have unassigned balance of $20.9 million, 39% of expenditures for, and then ARPA fund is a $4.6 million balance remains to be used. They better go use that quickly.
Yeah.
And at 26.
Yeah.
So they got all that done, and then they, they're working through some projects with the jail, and some of their stuff on their agenda, trying to figure all that out. So that was her report. Quick and easy. All right, we'll go on to Chief Down.
Good evening, all.
Hello. Hello.
My front page was our smoke detector program out there pushing that again. It's actually one of our biggest months. It actually was our biggest month on record. We had 11 interactions with public with either replacing smoke detectors or batteries.
Nice.
Great. Obviously, anytime we do that, we get great feedback and a lot of appreciation. Engine 10 is now certified BLS, basic life support unit. So it carries a little bit more drugs and a couple other devices for us to do that. Probably our biggest thing that we did this month or last month was apply for the firehouse subs grant. I'm trying to replace our hydraulic. Haven't heard anything yet, but if that goes through. And to go along with, I know it kind of seems like a broken record, but keep on going. Our call numbers are up. And so another stellar month, or high month of 76 bucks. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thanks, Sandy.
All right. I don't see Officer McGurran. I think he's off for a little bit, training, doing some
think he is.
training, so, according to his schedule he has, so. So then we'll go on to supervisor update, got a little bit. Twin Lakes Pavilion, we're working through, we have someone that donated some money that they haven't given it to us yet, but he wants to donate to complete that project down there. And we finally got Tracing Group Sonny Wheelock got Tracing Group to go through and look at different ways to support the pavilion, and so we got that done.
Good.
So I think the project was over 600,000, now we're down to about 65,000. Timbers, sorry, did I say Twin Lakes?
Yeah.
Timbers, sorry, Timbers Pavilion. Even says Timbers Pavilion on the report here. So we're working through that, and so I left a message for the person that wants to do that to make sure where he's at with the budgets and go from there, so we'll see how that goes. We have a new paramedic, Dan Bursma. So he'll be working with us. He worked at East Bay Township as well and around, and his wife worked for us as well, but she's kind of looking at running the ambulance service in East Bay Township, so they can't work together. Twin Lakes Dorm Project, we were asked to send out a request a second time to a local group to give us some money for the dorm renovation. So we're working on that, but they've also asked us to work on, see if we get local residents to help pay for some stuff. So we're working on a list to send out to some residents to see if they're interested in helping with that project and convert those bathrooms over, because we had that one camp. So now we're trying to get more camps out there, so, okay? So that's what I have for my update. Simple. All right. So we'll go on to, my agenda at, we have no pending business, and so we'll go on to our new business of our L029 form for 25 tax rate requests. So that form is one we do every year. Grand Traverse County asks us to get it in sometime in September so they can start projecting for it. And we have until October to give them the final numbers if we need to go up or down. So this is exactly what we were last year, so no changes. Last year, we put it a little higher just in case, but we put it right back where it was originally, and that's the same rate we've been asking for almost 5 years, 6 years, something like that, 7 years maybe, so, all right? So we need his approval to send this on to Grand Traverse County. Does anybody has any questions? Page number 101.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking, I had it, and
County had a lot in here this time.
I would make a motion to submit the 2025 tax rate request to Grand Traverse County, the Form L4029.
Right, my motion by Kevin, support by Kendra. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. All right, now we'll get into the fun of tonight. So I'll pull this up here too, so everybody can see it as well. So, budget study session, so this has been a fun one this year because the state has not approved their budget, and it keeps on changing. And it makes it a little more difficult on what to expect. A couple things that I was told, that we're going to end up with about 88% of our budget, our revenue last year. So that was a difference. At one, they were talking about a little more, now they're talking about 88%. But there are a couple things that they're looking at adding in. So the CVTR, which is the revenue sharing part, because we have a police department, and we've had some crime issues in Long Lake Township. So that's about $34,000 that we're going to get. It was about $43,000, but then they reduced it by about $9,500. So we'll go through that. That'll be some things we're trying to adjust for our revenue. Well, we can look at it.
What was it?
It says it is.
Question for you, Ron, on the 9,500, that original 43,000 or almost 44, is that last year's number being reduced this year by 9,500? Or this was original projection for this year?
It
being
was
reduced
original,
by
so they were going to project 35,000 plus some payment because of our taxable value, and then it weighted. So this is kind of off of what last year's was, and then because there's only 4 communities in Grand Traverse County that we're getting, or 4 townships that we're getting this money, so ours are going to continue, but everybody else that we're getting some are not going to get any. They're going to reduce it completely right down to nothing. So,
And that's not approved yet, but it has
It's just-
passed the
we're just
House,
kinda
but now
waiting
it's
to
just
see.
waiting to see.
so they all 3 have difference of opinions. You have the House, you have the Senate, and then you have the governor, who are all different, and
Of
they can't
course.
come together.
No.
So I was told that they will probably shut down in October for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, as a partial shutdown. So, but, you know, we aren't the only ones having problems. The schools will have issues. I mean, we have money in the bank, so that'll help get us through some of that, but it's just trying to go through all that. So they just need to get together and figure out how to deal with it. So, okay.
Okay.
So that's some, the revenue part. A couple things that are new in this one is that we have our farm market permits, which we figure for next year could be close to 4,000. We have our boat launch fees, which we've done about $4,800, almost $4,900 so far this year. So I budget for 6,000. And then pretty much everything else kind of stayed the same, other than rebates and refunds went up a little bit because we've done more there. Miscellaneous income, we left that the same. That was just some, people used the credit card and used the wrong one instead of the right one. So we work on that, so they paid that. So we won't have any ARPA funds to spend because we already did that. So that's kind of where those are at. And, our property taxes went up a little bit by 30,000. And administration fee went up by about 20,000, so, okay. A couple other things to look at is that the rate of inflation was about 2.7% as of July. In this budget, you'll find an increase for pay for the staff of 3%. And then our insurance cost, they said the max could be about 20%, but could come down. So we won't know that till about September. Or November.
Right
So
before
we're in
we need-
September. Yeah. So our good thing with our budget, we don't have to prove till the end of December. So we've got time. This is kind of the time we just look at it and see if there's anything we want to change or do on it. Township Board. Where's the Township Board? There it is. Township Board. I went through and decrease some things like legal expenses because we haven't been spending money on legal. Association fees, our audits coming in less because we didn't have the charter township double audit. So I brought that down, and then I brought down consulting because we just haven't been spending, so there was some savings there. We increased education, and we increased miscellaneous expense and taxes and stuff like that for the board. The next one is our budget stabilization fund. That's 8% of expenses. And we actually, this time, I didn't budget anything in there because we have more money in that account than we need to based on spending less money.
Good.
So it says we should have 175,900 in there, but we have 178,800 in there. Supervisor, I reduced that by 2,500 for consulting fees because we just haven't ever used it. The assessor is the one that took a big jump because we're going to be transitioning our current assessor out because she's going to retire eventually. And so we're going to use that for training. Ken Chubb, our community, not CPO,
OEO.
OEO. Sorry, this happens when you get up at 2:30 in the morning. OEO, and then, so he'll be working alongside Angela, and Angela will be working with him throughout the process. And then Kim, I did give her a little increase because of the study that we did on wages, so hers is about 4.5% for hers, for an increase on that one, so.
So if I understand, Ron, that salary and wages on that, some of that is a one-time hit while we're overlaying the two.
Correct.
Do you know ballpark what that amount would be that's really a one-time?
Well, the Angelus, you got, so you'll change these, so you got wage and salary, which is Angela, wages assistant is Kim, and then field assistant is Ken.
What do you want me to change that to?
So I think wage and salary or just say wages assessor, wages assistant, and then wages assistant assessor, however you want to do that.
Okay.
So the assistant assessor, Ken's, those wages will stay, but eventually the one that Angela's getting,
We'll
and
drop
keep in
off.
mind, when I did a wage study, that's probably about $10,000 shy of what most people are making around here for what they do.
Sure.
So, and her years of service and knowledge. So that's our goal, is that she's not asking for more at this time, but she wants to have a little more relaxed schedule, like some assessors do, but that'll give her some of that time, so.
Sure.
All right, so she'll be training Ken through that process. Okay? So that's what's happening with the assessor. Sorry, I'm not keeping up on this.
One
All
thing,
right.
should we add more education in the assessing bucket?
Thought she did some. She felt it was enough. That was the only thing she looked at, was increasing the others, so.
Okay, she's happy with that?
Yep, because that's where his time, and most of his is just going to be learning the job.
Right.
Because when he starts, he'll be an assessor.
Yeah.
I just thought when they, like this conference they're going to, three people are going now instead of two, so.
Right.
But if she thinks that's enough, that's fine.
She felt it was enough,
Okay.
because the conference they're going to now comes out of this year's budget.
Yep, correct.
Oh, right.
Okay. Township clerk, I had no changes for that, other than, nope, there was nothing on that one. And keep in mind that,
Six.
the health insurance does show the higher rate, so that could come down as well.
Okay, so all the way through, you've put the 20% increase. Okay.
Right. The next one is public improvement. Last year, this one we budgeted $149,300. That was how we made it a balanced budget. That's why it was 150. And so I reduced that to 100,000. Just keep in mind, we have the Cedar Run project, which is the trail improvements, and so we're putting the money aside for that one. And we have that project to go for 26, but we're still waiting to hear from DNR on that one. We get that, and then we have for 27, the DNR grant process is to look at redoing Gilbert Park boat launch to make it safer. And then 27, DNR grant, people asked about do more for fishing at Twin Lakes and safer down there. So that was one of our proposals in our stuff to Grand Traverse County. So those are the next 3 years, so it's trying to put money aside for those.
Anything in here or elsewhere for boat wash?
Nothing yet. So at the Crescent Shores, there is a gentleman on Long Lake that is, I don't know his name's a gentleman, but some people on the lake that are looking at funding a wet wash at Crescent Shores. So I'm working through that process to see kind of where that lays, but it'll be at the farthest south end of the parking lot. So we're working through that, as well as an agreement on I'm going to get my neck carried this way, who's going to maintain it. Their goal is that the association will maintain it and not the township. So we'll come up with an agreement on that. But it'll sit all the way at the end, so when people curve around the north end of the boat launch, or boat parking area, then we'll have a wash at that end. So we
Won't
won't
take
be,
any parking spots.
it won't take any parking spots. So at that point, and then as we do the grant process for Gilbert, then we'll put the boat wash in, that type of stuff for those.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That'll be part of it.
Perfect.
It doesn't mean we can't fund one someday, but they're about 50,000.
Right, I was just wondering if we wanted to begin planning anything in that,
Yep.
but it sounds like we've got other mechanisms right now. so-
We have money in public improvement funds to do different stuff if we choose to do that.
Okay, and we
This is
could
just-
adjust, this
Yeah,
is just,
this is just taking money out of this year's budget, or next year's budget, to throw it into that pot,
okay,
and there's already money in that pot.
perfect. So if there
Okay.
were a matching opportunity of some sort with local or grant or otherwise, okay.
Yeah, so if you look at amended budget for '25, we have 149,000, that's still sitting there.
Oh.
So we can choose to put that into parks to pay for a boat wash if we wanted to, or at the end of the year, if that's still sitting there, we can roll that into public improvement funds, and then it stays there instead of going to the general funds.
Perfect. Okay, thank you for the explanation.
Board of review, that stays the same. There's really no change, other than we are looking for someone to get on that board. And it kind of matches what all the other board reviews are doing. Treasurer, we're increasing that one for increase for deputy hours. That was the only change that we did under that one.
I thought we were going to do mileage.
Did you want to do that? Oh, okay. We can make a note to do that.
There, other than what, the 800 that's in there for mileage?
Yeah, because we already spent 1,000 this year.
I see.
Because you're always going to the bank every day and deal with that, so.
Gotcha.
Okay. And what are you thinking?
Probably 1,200.
Okay. Perfect. I think we got $800 left over at the end of the year. All right. Next is workers' comp. So we're about $5,000 so far spent, but I budgeted a little more just in case. Insurance seems to keep on going up this year, or every year. Elections, there is one next year, so you'll see
There's
extra
two.
money. Two?
There is next?
So we budgeted an extra 35,000, basically. Okay? Township offices, the changes with this one is that we should change the first line to receptionist. That's the goal. And then the janitorial service stays the same. And then administrative assistant, and that's where we talked about Sarah's focus would be grants, to get more of that. They are working on a grant to cover all this cost. So, and then assist with the supervisor, which she's doing, but planning and zoning is helping out with that a little bit. Okay?
You still think we're going to need to hire a receptionist then?
Yep.
Yeah.
The problem is that she just can't get focused out there, and there's always interruptions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, and we still bring, then when she needs to take time, she brings somebody in to work for a couple days and to go back there, so.
Okay.
And it takes a lot of time. It's like, we just got the DNR grant back for the Cedar Run, and it's got all these questions, and so, and it just takes that time, and you're trying to get interrupted, so. I mean, there's a good grant writer will pay for themselves,
Oh, yeah.
so, okay. Cemetery, the goal down there is to complete or continue planting trees, because we know some of those trees are getting older, and so our goal is to plant more trees. And then also, in the new section, we have all those nice faucets on posts instead of down on the ground, so our goal is to start putting some more of those in and clean up those pipes that are down there. It's not something you want to drink anyway, but it's good for water and plants. So we'll keep on upgrading those areas. ADA compliance, basically it's $5,000 we budget to use to upgrade paths and different, so this could be used at, if we do the boat launch, we could use it towards doing the stuff at Cedar Run Creek, because it's going to be more ADA available, so that's what it's there for. We budget for it. And that gives us points when we do different stuff for the state and stuff, and our grants. Planning, that's where one of the bigger savings comes from, is there, because we don't have the consulting that's so big, because that was the one that did all those, the natural features areas and stuff. And then the other thing is that we're kind of recording, basically, Cody's working about 38 hours instead of budgeting is 34 hours based on the meetings and stuff.
Is he not taking health insurance?
No.
Cody does.
Cody does?
Matt doesn't.
All right, we'll have to look at that one then. Okay?
Yeah, for the $1.
He's not going to pay for lunch.
Okay.
Hardly a Band-Aid.
All right. I don't know why that one says 1, but we'll fix that one. All right. Next, we have the remodel, which we're done with that, so we didn't budget any money for there, which is
Yay.
glad that's done. Zoning, So the same with Matt, he's working hours because of the meetings and stuff. And this is also where the ordinance enforcement, so this is what we talked about, that we're going to work to hire a replacement for Ken to train, so they understand what's going on. And then he'll train that person, then he moves into the other job. All right. And I did budget less because that's where we started, and Ken had already been doing that job for a couple of years, so.
Okay.
All right. And then we have our roads. So I reduced this one by 50,000 because I had to find some money someplace. So I cut that. So one of the things that the state said was that they were working on giving out road funds directly to townships. So some of that could come to us. And then they're also looking at changing the rules so that we don't have to have a match for the county. So the county requires a match. The state requires us to match the county on local roads. So this will hopefully, we won't have to do that. So that's with the new funding from the state. Okay. Now, it hasn't passed yet, but that's the goal. And then also in here is we have the transfers out of the 5,000, which basically that's our share to cover for the trail, Timbers Trail maintenance. So after we plow it, maintain it, at the end of the year, we send a bill to all the residents in that area that have back there, and so they all pay a portion of it. And that's about what our portion is. So, and then, so it was interesting, you know, we've done that survey out there. I don't know if you guys have looked at that survey. So when we looked at the road millage, we put that's out there. It says, how would you rate our current condition of our non-primary roads in Long Lake Township? And we get everywhere from very poor to poor, fair, good, very good. So we had 196 people do that. And then it says, how often do you use a non-primary road in Long Lake Township? 111 said almost 57% that use it because they're coming off their subdivision roads.
Yeah.
And then several times a week, weekly, moderately, and rarely. And then we asked, how important is it to you that non-prairie roads in Long Lake are well-maintained? Everybody says very important. And then what are the issues? Potholes, cracks, poor drainage. And then what would you supposedly the township investigating the possibility of proposing? So, you know, strongly oppose to support, but actually if you really look at it, it's about equal between strongly oppose and support and strongly support. So they're about right down the middle of it. So, you know, I don't know how to get the roads fixed in our area. I know that the road commission has looked at processes like Town Line. If you haven't been down Town Line Lake Road lately, it's a much different road, and what they did was kind of what we did at Forest Lodge area, where they wedged it, patched it. The only thing they didn't get was the chip and tar on it, because one, they didn't want to pay for it, and the road commission took it out of what they were going to do down there. So that didn't get that process, but they did that process on Town Line, and then it's exactly what they're going to do on Barney.
Oh.
So the goal is to kind of see what that all works out and how it works with, to see, instead of requiring everybody to build all new roads, what's it look like if we can just simply repair roads and then start chipping and tarring them? And so what would that be instead of the road down here where it was $1.8 million to do it? Could it be $500,000? Could it be $200,000 to fix the potholes versus all the other stuff? So.
And there's still pretty good life that they're expecting out of this process, right?
Yep.
Extended life.
Extended life.
Yeah.
So the goal, hopefully they would get into that chipping and tarring or chipping and sealing on a regular basis on some of these roads. They don't have any big road projects in the budget for this year for the road commission. Most of it's just how do they go out and maintain and fix some of these other ones that are getting destroyed that haven't had any attention. So that's what their goal is. So we'll see how it works.
And then based upon this survey, we've got to make a determination. Looks like you're going to have half strongly in favor of doing something, half strongly opposed. So that means we've got a decision.
Well, keep in mind, it's 197 people
Sure.
out
Yeah.
of 5,800 homes. So that's, to me, it's not a big number yet. And there's, how many voters?
8,000.
8,500.
8,500. So it's really not a big thing.
It's not a good sample.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
big size.
we gotta do something with the roads. I don't know how it works out with the roads. How do you even how do we take our time and fix our roads and whose is first, whose is last. I just know that a lot of our townships around Grand Traverse County are all doing a township millage, a county road commission millage, and that's how they're getting them done. Because they can bring all that money together and do all that, so. So, we'll figure out how that works.
So question though, if we're moving forward and the state is going to have a different model for the matching at the county level, does that potentially mean, since we haven't jumped on board like our peers, we might not be able to get some matching money that otherwise
No,
we would have? Or
They said that the money's gonna come to the local,
so it'll still flow and
us, yep,
Okay.
and then we can use that to fix roads, but we haven't been told what that money can be used for or not used for. So, okay. And I think the hard part with most subdivisions is that most of the roads can be used by several people. So it's not like you can get from Cedar Run Road to North Long Lake Road, and here you're paying to fix a road and everybody's using it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed the traffic lately, since they shut down Chumps Corners, or Interlocking Corners. These are like never-ending cars, and they're all either coming South Long Lake Road, North Long Lake Road, Cedar Run Road, or 72. So this is we have 4 or 5 of the roads that go into Traverse City.
And West Silver Lake Road too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
West
So,
Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I've seen semis on the roads now,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
haven't seen semis in a while, and they went right out to Interlocking.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a process for about a year to 2 years. When they get that all done, it'll be nice and pretty.
2 years before they finish out there? At
Yes,
Interlochen?
2 years.
Oh.
So this year, they cleaned up the bridge areas at
Yeah.
Ellis and the
Yeah.
other one, and then next year, they start the roundabouts.
Oh.
So the goal was to get the people to go down the detours that they're supposed to. The hard part right now is that 31 in both directions is shut down. During the construction, westbound will be open, and eastbound will be closed. And so you'll have to detour to go east, you'll have to go out through Gonder, Riley, Euchre, 633, so, okay? So, it's just 1 year, 2 years now,
2 years.
year and a half.
2 years,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get there. The good thing is that the state has invested a ton of money in Grand Traverse County area, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because we probably won't see that for a long time again.
There's been some good projects.
Yep. So that's roads. I think that's just going to be one of those things that we will continue having that discussion for a long time, because they're just not going away. So as it comes to those surveys, we'll see how it goes, but I think we should eventually hold some, open houses that talk about it and get people's opinions and
Yeah.
go from there. All right.
and have some real numbers to work with the new program too, so we can talk nuts and bolts.
Right. All right, next one is street special assessments. These are special assessments that we pay, that people pay us, and they've been going on for years for different streetlights. I didn't know that when I first became a supervisor, or trustee, that all these lights were going up and people are paying.
That's not correct, so it might be going to the wrong spot.
Okay.
You would like to check that one. It's more like $73 a month.
Okay,
Oh.
all right. Next one is, that's lights. And then you have lake studies. They haven't spent much money this year, have they? Do we have a bill coming before the end of the year? Yeah, well, you're going to leave a bunch of money on the table. Well, maybe we'll put what's left over in for a boat wash.
There you go.
Put a little balance for it, so. So basically, that one's for lake studies. Majority, or all of it, goes to Long Lake itself, but that doesn't mean that some of the other lakes couldn't start asking for some of it, to do study of Dyer Lake or Bass Lake or whatever in the township. It's meant for studies, it's not meant for treating, so we don't treat anything with it. That's all up to the association. And again, I still think all 800 riparians should be members of it. They ought to be thankful that there's not a special assessment for it, like other lakes do.
Agreed.
And I'm a lake owner, so I can give my opinion, I think.
As
Too late, I
mine,
just did.
agree.
I just
You
did.
just did.
Next is senior group. I'm just so thankful for all the stuff Shelley does down there and keeps that. If you haven't ever been to a lunch with a senior group, you ought to take the time to go to that. It's just so cool to go down there to the church. The emergency services staff are down there, and the food is good, and you get tons of hugs. It's always fun to spend time with them, and and talk to the senior group.
Why is there FICA so much higher?
Shelley's wages.
Yeah, but why is the FICA so high?
I didn't even look at that.
I'll have to look at that.
That is-
Oh,
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
we do this.
yeah, that can be changed.
All right. Okay. Retirees' health is next. So basically, if you worked 12 years, it's 12 years, no, it's
15.
elected official for 12 years, and then you had to be an employee for 15 years. Then you can qualify, if you don't quit, you have to retire, then you qualify for $300 per month. So basically, we have 5 people on it now at $3,600 per year. And we changed that, so we didn't end up, that's how we capped that, was a big expense for a while. So, and that's how we changed it, so.
Yeah.
All right, next is parks. So parks, one of the changes that we did was we broke out the vehicle maintenance out of maintenance and repair. I did reduce maintenance and repair a little bit by that amount. So we still have, monitor the Crescent Shores. So we haven't got some of the bills from the sheriff department yet. We have our farm market that's now in there, which we budgeted for that. So, all right. And we got some projects to work on through that budget too, so with sealing parking lots and repairing parking lots and stuff like that, and painting buildings. Okay? The next is our historical buildings, which we have the timbers, barns down there. One of the things that we learned, I had youth work go down and look at it, and then we tested the paint. Of course, it's got lead in it. So that's going to take a little bit to go after that, and some grant writing to get some help with that. There's some money out there for historical renovation, so we'll keep on going after that, because that's going to take a lot to clean up that and paint it. And Dan Brady, he looked at that as well, because he's doing the stuff at Twin Lakes, so he's looking at trying to figure out what we can do with that and help with that and get some pricing. Insurance expense, we increased that because insurance goes up. Insurance never goes down. You ever notice that?
Never.
And our pension plan. Unemployment, we didn't budget for that because we don't have unemployment. So, and then the next one is the contingency fees, which is basically 3% of all expenses to cover anything that's disasters, all that type of stuff that was not planned for, which, until we make these changes, it was $818,000, the fund balance. So we'll work through that for next time, all right? Any questions on the 101 general funds? Okay. And then this is the budget stabilization. This is one where I said we had more than what we needed. It shows that we have a fund balance of $178,000. And we only needed to put $175 in it, so there's no transfer going in there this year at this time. The next is the Emergency Services Department. So basically, all we did was take, same thing, they're about 2.5% increase on an average. So I made it 3%, but just in case. And corrected all those. The insurance takes a big hit. And then some of these you'll notice that apparatus bond loan principal actually goes down a little bit, which is our last payment for the fire truck. Those payments were $150,000 a year, one time a year in April. So that one goes down. EMS supplies went down. We're just not spending money. So part of what this does is it just actually showed what we were putting towards the bottom line. We'll get to there in a minute. And your apparatus contribution, we always put extra money there. Part of that is that at the end of the year, we'll say, okay, we want this much to go to fire truck, this much to go to building maintenance. Workers' comp, and then the disability insurance, police officer. So that shows that we have, we ended out in '24 with 206,000. And then we'll see where we end up for this year for a fund balance, and then we're budgeting for a $293,000 fund balance. Okay? So that's kind of where we planned it from last year, was that amount of money, because we had the 150,000 for the annual contribution, and then we put 50,000 to building maintenance. Right? So, okay. And I know that we're going to have to get aggressive on hiring staff down there. We've had no position down there for what, 3 years, 2 years? Yeah. So, and we've been filling with, firefighters, EMTs, or paramedics, that type of stuff.
Did you comment on ambulance revenue? You got that going from 150 down to 100?
Yeah, it goes up and down based on what those adjustments are and what we get paid. So we can bill all we want, but a lot of times we don't get paid, and then we have to make adjustments. Kendra spends a lot of time adjusting those off, because we'll bill our residents, but they don't have to pay.
I see.
So the goal is they would turn it into their insurance company, and the insurance company would pay us if they do. But sometimes it's pennies on the dollar. So that's kind of where we're trying to see where that actually is at. We're trying to get the numbers to an actual truer budget, instead of a large number out there that says, hey, here's all the money we're going to get, and then we're going to spend it all. Well, that's not the case.
So basically, this year looks like the activity's been 78 year-to-date, so you're just getting close to that number as opposed
Yeah, well,
to the
that's not
150.
adjusted yet, has it? They
so
adjust
that's
it
gonna-
every month.
Okay.
That's the goal, is adjust it every month to what's actually collected for that period of time.
Do you know how we perform on the collections versus other townships?
Do you have an answer for that?
We probably have Blair come in, that's what Bill, she does 5 or 6 of them, so she could probably give a little synopsis of that.
Okay.
It'd be interesting just to see if there's best practices.
We
We
get a
could learn some
report.
big enough numbers, or something that could be done to manage it differently, or maybe we're top of the heap, but it'd be interesting to know.
Last time, a question like that answered our billables were higher.
Yeah.
We demographically have a higher percentage of insured.
Sure.
Yeah, so we don't hard bill our residents, because they already pay taxes
Okay,
for
sure.
the ambulance, but we hard bill people that don't live here.
I see.
So hard bill means that they're going to get
Oh.
collections, and so we bill them once. If you're a resident, they either pay it if they choose to, or they send it to their insurance, and the insurance, somebody says, no, we're not paying, or then it just gets washed off, and that's where they reconcile that number.
Sure, okay.
Do you only bill if you transport, or like a call, just a call?
Primarily just on the transport right
Okay.
now, we do, a couple of years ago, we made a concept that we did assessment, but we still don't do that very often. We get back to, we start to do that,
Okay.
When we send bills, do we have a note to any communication to say you can send to your insurance company, or any encouragement for that?
it's all part of those.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, this year.
perfect. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right. I haven't seen anything that they're going to increase our deputy billing either, so. The next is the Naturals area parks. That's where I put that $100,000. We put it in there. So that'll give us $130,000 in there if we transfer it all in there, all right? And then the next one is the public improvement, which, we still could budget that 100, or transfer that 149,000 into that account, which will give us a bigger fund balance because there's already 126,000 in there. Okay? And we can put those items at specific, that we will spend it on this, we will spend it on that. Back in the day when we're going to spend it on furniture, and then we're going to spend it on voting equipment. So when we budgeted items and we did these budget amendments, we put money specifically to those things. Okay? State revenues for money, Metro Act, basically this is road right-of-way, where we get money for those from Charter and, just Charter, isn't it? Charter, AT&T. So they pay us for the road right-of-way. So that money is to be spent on, that's where we spend our money on the dust control, the brining, the speed signs, because it's basically anything that's in the road right-of-way, we can spend it to repair and maintain, or gravel roads. The next one is the general debt on our emergency service station. So that's our payments that we have, so the property tax that are voted is there, the bond payment, and then the interest payments. And you can see we're starting to build a fund balance there. The goal is to get it close and then pay it off early. That's the intent. Then we have the construction of the Township Hall. That one will go away eventually because there's no money going into that. And then we have our duplexes for rentals. Remember that money that comes in those, we rent from the rental. Our goal is use that money on parks. So you'll see there's a security deposits there. That's basically, that will always hang out there until the person moves out. We give them their security deposit back. We have one unit we get $1,400 a month for, the other one's $1,700. So we're trying to get those rents up a little bit. A few years back, they were what, 600, 700?
Yeah.
So, and our goal is to try and keep them for our emergency services personnel. Go from there. So remember out of this one, the Manhattan duplex, we're going to spend money out of it for the painting at Twin Lakes. And those are different bills. So we have our utilities that we pay it's been vacant, and then any maintenance repairs that we do, and then we pay the taxes because those are not tax exempt because they're rentals. Okay. And then we have the timbers, which that one potentially is going to be empty at the end of the year, and I increased that one rent because it was pretty cheap for a nice 3 or 4 bedroom house with a full basement and a 2-car garage. So that's the one where we have the road maintenance that comes out of that, the transfers into the 5,000 we talked about earlier, and then the road maintenance that we can repair and snow plowing and all that stuff back there. All right. Okay, and then we have our retirees. That's the investment gain or loss that was put in there from our adjustment for our audit, and we got transfers in if we need to, and then that's the OPEB that we have in there as well, and any fees we might have. And then we have our SADs, because they're sad. So, and I'm sure we'll have to do some budget amendments on those towards the end of this year anyway, but next year, hopefully we're getting close to getting them paid off. So, okay? Any questions, comments, changes, wants, needs?
Where we're developing a fund balance on the fire station, holding the funds, I'm sure with our interest we're getting, but are we able to prepay and just reduce the interest expense as we go, rather than waiting for a certain point in time to pay in advance?
I don't know if we could.
So where we're building a fund balance on the fire station with a relatively large sum in it right now, is there a reason is it more advantageous to hold an interest on that or to go ahead and prepay on the loan ahead of time rather than waiting for a lump sum, paying early? Why not pay as we go? And maybe have less expense to the township in total?
Extra.
Yeah, one of the loans we don't pay interest on.
Well, for the fire station,
Oh, for the fire
Emergency service
station,
station, we
sorry, I
do.
was thinking equipment.
yeah,
Yeah, we can look at that.
I think there's some rules around the bond.
Yeah, I think that's,
Yeah.
the bond
It's
is
a
the
bond,
issue,
yeah.
so we can look into that, but it was bonded that they're going to make their money.
They want their money.
So, yeah,
I don't think you can prepay the interest, but we can pay off early. I think that was kind of was the concept.
Right, you're going to pay it no matter what.
I see. Yeah, that was, so if that's in fact what it is, then so.
I mean, I can, I'll,
Just making sure
I'll
we're
look into
best.
those documents, but I think that was part of the whole process.
Okay.
And we got really good rate on it comparative to the other township that built their fire station at the same time,
And maybe we're better to have it invested in.
making some interest.
Exactly. But just, I wanted to ask the question, I
Yeah.
guess if we just
Yeah.
check and make sure we're doing the most fiscally responsible
Right.
option.
Yep, we can look at those documents again. I can't remember what the rules
I think there was
are.
something to do with that in there.
Yeah,
There was definitely some, I remember that being.
there were stipulations.
I think they don't want to pay that off. They want
Right.
you to pay off.
They want their money.
So
Sure.
The loan
Sure.
before you pay that off.
Okay. Any other questions on it?
No?
This is one of the craziest budgets I've ever had put together
Yeah.
because of the changes, but it's part of life. It's one task. All right.
I appreciate all the work and effort put into it.
Thank you.
Makes it nice to walk through in this fashion.
All right. Hearing no further comments on the study session, we'll go into public comment number 2. None?
Is there a password for the Wi-Fi in here?
Yep, it's Haywood
5.
5. All lowercase.
Name and address, please? No.
It's getting darker out.
Yeah.
Not ready for this.
It's right around the
It's
corner.
coming though. All
Right
right,
around the corner.
so we have none, do we have any budget status?
Not tonight?
All right, any Board of Trustee comments? I have one little quick one. We are working, Cody gave me a little bit on short-term rental. We're working on a couple things for the short-term rental indicators, because if we cap the numbers, there's certain things that we have to prove before we can cap them. So
Okay.
there's some indicators that they're going through, so we have some stuff. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware that we're still working on trying to come up with some information on it. I'm not sure the change will get in before this year, but it's just learning that there's certain things you can do without, I don't like being sued and I don't like spending money on attorneys.
No.
So we'll learn from other people.
Sure. Yeah, right, as long as we're making progress,
Yeah.
that's great. and
So I wanna
we're
make sure.
Thanks for the update.
You're aware of that, so it hasn't fallen on deaf ears, so we're working through that, so. Any other Board of Trustee comments? All right, hearing none, then we'll adjourn at 6:56.